Hello, Elizabeth here, and today I'm going to show you how to customize a Stanley style tumbler with glitter. This is not an official Stanley tumbler, it is a dupe, but the same techniques can apply with any sort of stainless steel tumbler. I'm going to walk you through everything step by step. I started with a white 40-ounce tumbler. This is not a name brand Stanley, it's a dupe I got on Amazon, and there's a link to this and the other products I'm using in the description of this video. First, I wiped the entire surface of the tumbler with rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe to ensure the surface is nice and clean before I begin. I'm using an adhesive called Mod Podge to apply my glitter, and for the base coat I used several different shades of fine laser holographic glitter. I used paint brushes and freehanded everything for a more wavy and whimsical result. But if you want very crisp lines, you could absolutely tape off your sections with painter's tape before applying your Mod Podge and glitter. First, I painted a diagonal line of Mod Podge across the middle-ish of the tumbler and sprinkled on some teal glitter and some green glitter side by side. It will make your life easier if you can sit your tumbler on a tumbler turner or some other stand while you do this. I continued applying Mod Podge and glitter diagonally in the classic Roy G. Biv rainbow color order, working my way around and all the way to the bottom of the cup. I didn't really know exactly how this was going to turn out since I'm just eyeballing everything, I just continued throwing on glitter. Once I got each of my rainbow colors on there, I had this gap that is large at the top and narrow at the bottom. So I decided to fill in most of that space with silver glitter and add one more line of pink on the other side of it. Pink is my favorite color and also doesn't interfere with my rainbow color order, so I decided to just repeat it so that the silver section wouldn't be quite so huge at the top. Now that the entire cup was covered, I went back in to clean up some of my sloppy lines and make everything a bit neater. Make sure you're leaving your Mod Podge to dry for at least an hour before going back over top of sections that you've already done. Next, I added some thin lines of a fine white glitter between each color. The colors I've used already are pretty bright, and I'm going for an overall light and airy, like unicorn/fairy kind of feeling, so this white glitter in between helps to soften the colors and blend the transitions between them to be a little less harsh. I just used a thin paintbrush and more Mod Podge to apply it. The white color is kind of transparent, so you can see the colors underneath peeking through a bit and making the transitions nice and soft. Now this is looking very pretty, very Candyland, but I still want a little bit more of that light and airy vibe, so next I added a white chunky glitter mix at the top and bottom of the cup. I used the edge of my paintbrush to kind of streak out and soften the edge of the Mod Podge as I approached the center of the cup, so that the glitter would taper off a little bit and be almost gradient without leaving a harsh line. It looks very white right now with the Mod Podge, but when it dries, again this white glitter is a bit transparent, so you can see the colors underneath shining through. At this point, I was happy with my glitter and ready to seal in everything with resin, so I taped off the top lip with some painter's tape. And even though this tumbler technically fits on my tumbler turner, the handle sticks out so much that it can't really spin when I turn on the tumbler turner, because the handle scrapes across the table when it comes around. So my husband generously volunteered to be my human tumbler turner and held the tumbler insert while I sealed the cup. So I'm using UV resin to coat this, which is what I always prefer to use because it cures really fast under a UV light. You can achieve the same results with 2-part resin, but it may be especially tricky in this case because your tumbler needs to continuously spin on a tumbler turner while your resin cures to keep it level and prevent any dripping or pooling of the resin. So if your tumbler isn't going to be able to spin properly on a tumbler turner for the full 24 hours your 2-part resin needs to cure, you may have an issue. Once I had a layer of resin all over my cup, I used my heat gun all over to warm up the resin and help spread it out evenly as well as pop any little bubbles that may be in the resin. Then I removed the painter's tape so it doesn't cure onto the cup, and used my UV lamp to cure the resin while my husband spun the tumbler turner around manually for me. And I had him help me with this for just a few minutes to do kind of a flash cure and just get it solid enough so that nothing is going to drip. And then I placed it on my tumbler turner with the UV light just sitting over it and moved it around every few minutes to make sure every inch of the cup was cured nice and solid. If you don't have a UV light, you can actually take this right outside on a bright sunny day and spin it around in the sunlight and cure it perfectly fine that way as well. Because I used that white chunky glitter, there are quite a few spots on the tumbler that feel a little bit raised and sharp. So I used some sandpaper to sand those areas all over and make sure it was feeling nice and smooth. I also used a craft blade to remove any excess resin on the handle and that top lip of the cup. Then I gave everything a good clean with some rubbing alcohol again and went in with another coat of resin the same way I did the first one. You may need to do this even a third time if your chunky glitter is really chunky or anything else is causing it to not feel completely smooth. But 2 coats did the trick for me, and here is the final result. This tumbler turned out so fun and colorful, it's way more sparkly in person than it looks on camera. Resin is super strong and durable, and some people report having success putting these cups through the dishwasher, but I personally wouldn't risk it, and I definitely recommend always hand washing your custom tumblers. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment letting me know what sort of projects you'd like to see in the future. See you later!